Studio Classroom is here for you. It helps you in all you do. Helps you know you do. So tune in and now enjoy the fun. Join us now, enjoy the show.
Hi friends, welcome back. My name is John, and today is a great day to learn something new.
It certainly is, so let's do that together. My name is Anne-Marie.
And you're joining us here on Studio Classroom, friends. We're so grateful you are here to practice our English together. Today we have our profile article. We're talking about a famous actor. His name is Michael J. Fox, just like the little animal, the fox. And why is he famous? We'll have to find out together. But first, Anne-Marie, are you ready to talk about it with our Talk About It question?
Let's do it.
All right. Have you ever faced rejection?
Oh, yes. I think everyone has faced rejection before, whether it's rejection for a job that you wanted or a school you were trying to get into. Sometimes we feel rejected by others as well, just because of who we are. Everyone's faced rejection before.
That's right. Now the question is, what did you do about it? Let's think about that and talk about it together today as we learn the story of Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox. How one of the biggest stars of the 1980s manages a life-changing disease. Actor Michael J. Fox received the shock of his life at the height of his career. The upsetting news initiated a battle he could never have anticipated.
Hi, I'm Jack. 今天的 usage tip 要来看助动词 could 加 have 加过去分词的句型。这是对过去事件的推测，表示过去可能做了某事。来看课文的句子。The upsetting news initiated a battle he could never have anticipated. 我们看到句中加上了 never 这个代表否定的字词，这表示过去不可能做过某事。所以从本句中可看出，作者推测这场与病魔的战役是 Michael 过去始料未及的。我们来看一个例句 ：She could never have known the impact her words would have on me. 她绝不可能知道她的话对我有多大的影响。
Well, friends, the name Michael is super common, especially in the 90s. It was one of the most common names for kids because of guys like Michael Jordan. But maybe you haven't heard of Michael J. Fox. He's an actor known for movies like Back to the Future. Let's read a little bit more about him, though. What do we first read here in our article?
Well, we see how one of the biggest stars of the 1980s manages a life-changing disease. Now, as we see here, he was very popular in the 1980s, and we also see a verb that we want to talk about. That's the verb manages. Now, if you manage something, it means that you succeed in surviving or achieving something even though it was difficult.
That's right. So you could say, even though it was really hard to run the restaurant, she managed and did a great job.
That's right. We also see that this disease was life-changing. Some diseases we get, and maybe they do affect our lives, but it doesn't change the rest of our lives. Maybe we get over them. But this disease, it has really changed how he lives his life. We're going to find more about that here in a moment.
That's right. So we read here, actor Michael J. Fox received the shock of his life at the height of his career. Here there are two great English expressions to add to your vocabulary and your knowledge. The first is the shock of one's life. It means the most surprising experience or news you receive. And typically this is negative, though not always.
So here's an example. When she received the news that she didn't get into med school, it was the shock of her life.
You know, when we're talking about electricity, we often talk about a shock, right? When electricity zaps you, and it's a very painful experience. So a shock is often really upsetting. And we read here too that he received the shock of his life at the height of his career. What does that expression mean?
Okay, we often use this expression when someone's career has already been viewed over a long period of time. And this is saying that there is a point when the person has achieved the greatest success or prominence and respect in their career. So if we're looking back over this person's career, we could say, oh, that movie was the height of his career. Or if you're talking about someone in the present, you could say he is now at the height of his career.
Interesting. This expression gets you thinking because even though you can work hard and be famous, it often goes away because of various factors. We read here, the upsetting news initiated a battle he could never have anticipated, excuse me. So if something is upsetting, that means it's unpleasant, right?
That's right. It means that it makes you upset. If something is upsetting, usually you feel very badly about it.
That's right. And it initiated or it began a battle. What is that battle and why could he never have anticipated it, as you learned in your usage tip? Let's find out together in the next section of our reading.
Michael J. Fox. Michael's life began in 1961 in Alberta, Canada. One of 5 siblings, he was always small, which led to problems at school. He was constantly bullied, but learned to use humor to calm situations, a skill that would serve him well in later years.
我们来看 sibling 这个名词，意思是兄弟姐妹。来看几个例句。Sophia, who had always longed for a sibling, was delighted when her little brother was born. Sophia 一直渴望有一个兄弟姐妹。当她的弟弟出生时，她非常高兴。或是 Even though we live in different countries, my siblings and I vacation together once a year to stay connected. 尽管我和兄弟姐妹都住在不同的国家，但我们每年都会一起度假，以保持联系。Sibling rivalry 就是指手足间的竞争，譬如 sharing everything, including a birthday. It was no surprise that the twins had sibling rivalry. 双胞胎要分享一切，包括生日，难怪他们之间会有竞争。
Well, friends, it's time to learn about this famous Canadian Michael J. Fox. And Marie, what do we read about him?
Okay, we find out here that his life began in 1961 in Alberta, Canada. So we have a Canadian actor here.
All right, Alberta. He was one of 5 siblings. We read about siblings in our language lab. I don't know if you have any siblings, but in English, brothers and sisters are your siblings.
And to remind you, friends, when we're talking about siblings, you don't include yourself. So for me, for example, there are 7 children in my family. I have 6 siblings. Those 2 numbers are different because you don't include yourself. Now we read here that Michael was always small, which led to problems at school.
Oh, I see. Why did it lead to problems? Well, we read he was constantly bullied. If you're bullied, it means someone is trying to harm you, intimidate you, or coerce. Coercing means convincing you to do something you know is wrong. But what did he, well, first of all, can you use bullied in a sentence?
Yeah. For example, she had to change schools because she was bullied so much. Now, of course, here, bullied bully or bullied is a verb, but a person can be a bully as well when we use the noun form of the word. She had a bully at school.
If it's a noun, you're going to put a Y at the end, just like the verb, to bully, B-U-L-L-Y. Well, he was bullied, but how did that make him act?
Well, we found out here in our article that he learned to use humor to calm situations. Now, when you are calming a situation, it means that there is already a problem happening and maybe he was already getting bullied. But if he's calming the situation, it means that everybody is relaxing in that situation so that more problems don't continue.
It's really interesting how people's lives work because even though he was bullied, later he's going to become famous for playing a young man who gets constantly bullied. So there's really an interesting story here from Michael J. Fox. We read here that this humor is a skill that would serve him well in later years. Okay, this is a fun phrase. If something serves you well, what does that mean?
Okay, so if something serves you well, it means that it benefits you, it can be useful, or it promotes you in some kind of way. So you could say this of pretty much any type of skill or any type of talent. For example, he was really good in drama club in college. That skill has served him well later on.
Do you know what else will definitely serve you well? Practicing your English. I know that when I've studied other languages, it's served me well in unexpected situations. So we're very proud of you for having come this far in your language studies. Keep it up. That lesson will serve you well.
Now, we also see here at the end of this sentence that phrase, later years. We're not saying exactly when this skill served him well. We're just saying later on in his life, it was useful. This is a great way for you to say an amount of time when you don't know an exact date. So this skill served him well in later years.
That's right. You could say the farmer planted some apple trees and in later years they produced a lot of fruit. Sometimes you might talk about a person's later years. If you already know when they die, that means the last part of their life, their later years. It's a little bit of a different usage. Well, friends, there's a lot more to learn here. So let's go to our info cloud and find out some more English to use.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Info Cloud. Hey, Rex, did you watch the game last night? Things were going very badly in the first half, but they really turned the tables in the second half.
It was a very exciting game. Let's talk about that expression you just used, turn the tables.
Good idea, Rex. When you turn the tables, you reverse a situation or change the course of events.
The expression tends to be used when someone takes control after being in a disadvantaged position, right? It's like when an underdog suddenly starts winning.
That's right. For example, if one team is losing badly and then comes back to win, we can say they turned the tables on their opponents.
I'm told the expression probably comes from games like chess or other board games, where turning the table physically changes the position of the pieces, symbolizing a shift in power.
I see. But we can use the phrase for things other than sports and games. We use it for business, politics, and in everyday life too.
The phrase is useful for any situation that involves a dramatic shift in the balance of power.
I like that. Friends, if you're having a hard time studying English, maybe you should turn the tables and make a big, unexpected change.
人们都很喜欢听到逆转胜的故事，因为非常的激励人心。今天要跟大家介绍 turn the tables 这个用语。turn the tables 就是把桌子转过来。据说这个用语是形容下棋的时候，棋盘突然转过来，双方的局面完全翻转。因此 turn the tables 就可以用来形容扭转局势。 Our baseball team turned the tables and won the game. 我们的棒球队在比赛中逆转胜。除了体育竞赛 ，turn the tables 也可以在商业、政治和日常生活中形容任何局势或权力平衡的转变。这就是今天的 Info Cloud， 我们下次云端见。
Michael J. Fox. Not until Michael joined his school drama club did he begin to fit in. Then, at 15, he made his professional acting debut in a Canadian TV series. A couple of years later, his parents let him quit school and move to Los Angeles to become an actor. Over the next few years, he endured plenty of auditions and rejections. But Michael hit pay dirt when he won the role of Alex P. Keaton in Family Ties, which became a top-ranked TV comedy. Next up was a starring role in Back to the Future, the award-winning film that would catapult the young actor to widespread fame. While in his 20s, Fox completed 7 seasons of Family Ties, made 10 movies, and married actress Tracy Pollan.
“再来看 comedy 这个名词，意思是喜剧。来看例句 ：What type of movie do you feel like tonight? Comedy, romance, action, or thriller? 今晚你想看哪种类型的电影？喜剧、浪漫片、动作片还是惊悚片 ？Comedy 的形容词是 comedic， 注意哦，重音是在第2音节，念作 comedic。譬如 ，His comedic timing made him funny.The way he used pacing, pauses, and rhythm heightened his joke's impact. 他的喜剧表演时机让自己很有喜感。他运用步调、停顿和节奏来增强笑点的效果。相关的名词是 comedian， 就是指喜剧演员。譬如 ，Instead of becoming a doctor, he chose to become a comedian to his parents' disappointment.他选择成为喜剧演员，而不是医生，让他父母感到失望。
Well, friends, to review, we've learned that Michael was bullied in school. Michael J. Fox learned to use humor and comedy. And where did that lead him later?
Okay, well, we read here, not until Michael joined his school drama club did he begin to fit in. Then, at 15, he made his professional acting debut in a Canadian TV series.
All right, that word debut is one you'll come across again. It means the first time that something is revealed to the public. But we also read that a couple of years later, his parents let him quit school and move to Los Angeles to become an actor. Wow.
That's right. Very interesting. We read on here, over the next few years, he endured plenty of auditions and rejections. These are 2 things that we need to talk about, friends. An audition is like an interview, but this is specifically for a role or a job that requires you to show your practical skills. So usually this has to do with singing, acting, or dancing. So you have to actually show the people you are auditioning for your practical skills.
Cool. So you could say she had an audition for a big Hollywood movie, and she did well. The word audio, meaning to hear, is right in there. So an audition is when the directors hear and see if you're any good for the role. That is the audition. Rejection is another word that's connected to audition sometimes. And a rejection is when you are turned down, refused, or said no to.
For example, he received many rejections before he finally found an investor willing to fund his business. And yes, at the beginning of today's program, we talked about rejections. This is something that everybody goes through, and Michael also had to go through as well. But we read on, Michael hit pay dirt when he won the role of Alex P. Keaton in Family Ties. Now this phrase, hit pay dirt, means to make money or a profit after you have put in a lot of effort.
That's right. You could say he hit pay dirt when he dug up gold in his backyard. That's actually closer to the literal meaning of this. Normally when you dig in the ground, you might find a treasure. That's hitting pay dirt. But here, he won this role in the TV show Family Ties, which is pretty old, but it became a top-ranked TV comedy. What was next for him?
Next up was a starring role in Back to the Future, the award-winning film that would catapult the young actor to widespread fame. We have a really interesting word here, the word catapult. Now, what exactly is a catapult? Well, it's a type of device that throws rocks. You have probably seen small catapults before that children can hold in their hands and pull a rock back and make it go far, or there's large catapults as well. But here in this situation, the meaning is that something is happening very, very quickly. A lot of times we use this to talk about a career.
Yeah, you could say her ability to make paintings catapulted her to international fame. So you're moving from one position to another very quickly and normally moving forward in some way. And we also read this word widespread fame. Widespread means covering a large area.
That's right. For example, you could say there was widespread support of the proposal. Well, we read on here, while in his 20s, Fox completed 7 seasons of Family Ties, made 10 movies, and married actress Tracy Pollan.
Wow, he did a lot, but his story is not over yet, even though we're at the end of today's lesson. Let's learn more about Michael Fox tomorrow, but first, it's that time, fun facts.
Hello, fact friends! I am Detective Ernest Finder, and I have a fun fact for you today. Did you know that Michael J. Fox is also a voice actor? A voice actor is an actor who plays the voice of a cartoon or animal character in a movie. So who has Michael J. Fox played? Well, Michael J. Fox plays the voice of Chance, a lost dog, in the wonderful family movie Homeward Bound. That movie makes me cry. And that is today's fun fact.
Well, friends, now a question to talk about it. What has Michael J. Fox's story taught you? Anne-Marie?
Oh, this is a really interesting thing to talk about. Think about how you would answer this question as well, friends. I think for me, anytime I hear someone's story about how they became famous, it makes me think about the path that they have taken and how everyone's path, no matter where they are in life, has come across rejections before. Most people have to go through hard things in order to get to a place of success.
That's right. There's a famous saying that you should be happy when you face suffering because testing produces patience. And we do see that in Michael Fox's story. Even though he was bullied, good things happened.
Well, friends, we're not done talking about Michael's story, so make sure you come back for the second part of our lesson tomorrow. That's all the time we have for today. My name is Anne-Marie.
And I'm John, friends. Thank you for joining us today. We will see you tomorrow right here on Studio Classroom. Goodbye, friends.
A good friend lasts a lifetime. I am so proud to have you in my life. A good friend lasts a lifetime.